On a cold winter's day, a gardener browses seed catalogs and dreams of future beauty and abundance in the garden. When you look at a catalog or seed packet, you notice the glossy photos and glowing descriptions, but it's important to read the fine print. The information on a seed packet will help you determine whether it's the right plant for the right place and help you grow the seeds successfully. This presentation is brought to you by King Garden Education and Iron Bee Learning. Seeds are wonderful little structures that make it possible for plants to survive harsh conditions. A seed can remain dormant for years, then germinate and grow into a new plant. In many ways, a seed is like a chicken egg. It has a protective shell called the seed coat. The embryo is a baby plant with a tiny root and leaves. And like an egg, the seed has stored food called endosperm that provides nourishment for the embryo as it germinates and begins to grow. A gardener can buy transplants from a nursery, but it's also possible to start your own seeds. You can either sow seeds directly into the ground or transplant seedlings. Starting plants from seeds has many advantages. A pack of seeds costs much less than transplants. Seeds give you much greater variety than the transplants in a nursery. The quality of plants is better because you control conditions in which they are grown, and nurseries may not have transplants available when you want them. A seed packet is filled with information about the plants as well as tips for sowing the seeds and growing plants in your garden. Let's start with the front of the packet. Typically, the packet will have a photo of the mature plant, the common name and perhaps the variety. It may give the life cycle and weight or number of seeds in the packet. You'll see the plant name in many forms on the seed packet. The common name is what the plant is generally called in an area, such as zinnia. The variety is a subgroup of plants that differs from other members of that species. Your county extension services often test and can recommend varieties that will do well in your local area. The word cultivar comes from merging cultivated variety. A cultivar has been produced by selective breeding and may have particularly desirable characteristics. It's essentially a patent on a plant which yields royalties to the plant developer. In our example, we have zinnia. Fruit smoothie mix is the cultivar. Most seed packets sold in retail stores have a colorful picture of the mature flower or vegetable to attract buyers. They're trying to entice you to buy them. Some companies, especially those who sell through catalogs and websites, save money by skipping the photo. The gardener can see what the mature plant looks like in the company's catalog or online. Some packets lift the life cycle or type of plant. An annual is a plant that lives for one growing season. It grows, flowers, sets seed, and dies in 1 year. Zinnias, petunias, marigolds, and many vegetables fall into this category. Biennials are plants that have a 2-year life cycle. Foxgloves are a good example of a biennial plant. The first year, a rosette of leaves grows. In the second year, the plant sends up a tall flower spike that produces seed. Once established in a garden, foxgloves can have plants in both years of the cycle and produce flowers. A perennial is a plant that lives for many seasons. It may die back, but regrows the next year. Examples include daylilies, daffodils, and irises. The seed packet may indicate whether the plants are hybrid or open pollinated. Open pollinated plants breed true, which means that seeds will produce plants similar to the parents. The seeds can be saved and planted again. Open pollinated plants have many advantages, including the fact that there are many varieties and they help maintain genetic diversity within the species. The plants are usually well adapted to local conditions because it's the survivors that produce seeds. And overall, they usually cost less than hybrids. Hybrids do not breed true. New seeds must be purchased. There are fewer varieties. But many hybrids have been bred for desirable characteristics such as disease resistance or productivity. The back of the packet includes more information such as the mature size of the plant, spacing, water needs, hardiness, and so on. A number or range of numbers indicates the USDA hardiness zones, the geographic regions in which a plant grows best. The United States Department of Agriculture has a website which is interactive. You simply need to type in your zip code to find your zone. Seed packets may have a map that looks very much like the USDA hardiness zone map and is based on the zones and both first and last frost dates. Take a close look at the two maps. What different information are they giving? Map A gives dates to sow seeds outdoors directly into the ground, and Map B shows dates to transplant seedlings that were started indoors about 8 weeks before. Plants like peppers take a long time to grow to maturity. In most areas, if they were direct sown, they wouldn't produce fruit before the first frost of autumn. Seed packets usually give instructions for when to start the seeds indoors or whether to sow them directly into the garden. The packet may give instructions for planting seeds, such as depth and spacing of seeds. It might indicate whether seedlings should be thinned after they germinate to avoid overcrowding. A seed packet will have a date stamped on the back. Seeds can remain dormant, but are still viable for many years. In the photo, you can see the orange squash, which was grown from seeds that were over 800 years old. However, germination rate will go down each year. So the packet may state packed for 2019 or sell by 2019 to indicate that a large percentage of the seeds should germinate if planted that year. Seed companies pull seeds from stores before that year ends. Seeds should be kept moist when first planted because water helps seeds germinate. Mulching or using row covers can help to keep the planting bed or container moist. As the seedlings grow, though, frequency of watering depends on a number of factors such as humidity, size of the plant, temperature, sunlight, etc. The back of the packet may have additional information such as sun exposure or light requirements, days to bloom, maturity, size at maturity, and maybe a lot number. Sun exposure is a major determining factor in whether plants will be successful in a given spot. Plants require various levels of exposure to light. On a plant tag, there may be an icon showing the light requirements, or the first word describing sun exposure indicates the best location. Sun or full sun means the plant requires direct sun for 6 or more hours per day. Part sun or light shade indicates that the plant needs 3 to 6 hours of direct sun per day. Partial or filtered shade means the plant still needs about 3 to 6 hours of sun per day, but it may need protection from afternoon sun. It will probably grow best in a spot that gets only morning sun. Full or dense shade indicates that the plant needs less than 3 hours of sun per day. Now, all plants need some light, but some plants will do best where they don't get any direct sunlight. The gardener needs to know when a flowering plant will bloom or when vegetables can be harvested in order to plan a garden. Choosing plants with different bloom times makes it possible to have a colorful garden for the entire growing season. Days to harvest lets us know when the seed should be started, perhaps indoors, to get production before a killing frost. Determining the time to maturity is a little bit more complicated, however. Do we start counting when we plant the seed in the garden or put in a transplant? For direct sown seeds, the time begins when the seed is planted in the soil. However, for a plant like peppers, tomatoes, eggplants, and others that are transplanted, days to maturity usually means days from being transplanted. Days to maturity also is affected by temperature of the air and soil. Day length, size when harvested are also factors. A seed packet will give information about the size of the plant at maturity, but it may also give information about row spacing or plant spacing to help you plant your garden. The depth of planting may also be given. A general rule of thumb is that a seed should be planted twice as deep as its diameter unless otherwise indicated. Some packets have pages or include instructions on the inside of the packet to give you even more information. Others have QRs or URLs to direct the gardener to websites.